children as adults when they make mistakes, and as though they're beyond redemption. And that's something that has to change. There are a lot of kids behind bars that shouldn't be. A lot of the time because of the color of their skin, but overall that's I think the common denominator. So raise the age in Massachusetts, I think is something that I'm really pushing for. I put out an op-ed recently that talks about raising the age to 20, so we can stop treating kids like adults.
What kind of feedback did you get from some of the people?
Amazing feedback. A lot of the people sitting around the table at the White House, at the DOJ, was very supportive, very affirmed everything I was thinking, everything me, JB, and Grant were thinking. But we also, while sitting at that table, learned that Congress and there are all these other sort of branches of power that have to approve certain bills and certain policies before they get put in place.
You go with JB, Grant. How do you guys kind of get together? You said this is an important issue for you, but how do you guys come together and kind of plan this?
There's a mutual friend, Scott Budnick, that planned it for us. He does a lot of criminal justice reform. He's very well known, very connected, very passionate about creating change. So he actually got us together and put it together.
Who were some of the people you were able to meet with, like some of the government officials?
There were maybe 15 people at the table. I know one of them personally. Her kids went to the same high school as mine, Keisha Lance Bottoms, a big politician, back in the day in Atlanta. And she left the meeting early, but there are a lot of influential people around the table.
Wow, you guys are all part of the PA, of course. Do you see like the PA trying to get more involved with these matters, like in a more formal capacity at this level?
Yeah, I think the PA is stepping into it as much as they can, but it's really following the players' lead as much as possible. And I think now this is a generation where we're having more guys, more players that are interested and involved in. I don't even call it politics. I think I call it, things that are injustices that are happening in the world. So the PA definitely, in a formal way, but in the right way, they're gonna continue to get more involved.
I mean, there was a huge wave of social justice activism kind of coming out of Black Lives Matter,
right.
And it's kind of died down. The focus on it's died down. So how important is it to you to just kind of continue to be the leading voice in that and keep people rallied behind it?
Extremely important. That was the window we had to I think spread the word, to shed light on social justice and everything that's going on in this country that's wrong. Now's the time to continue to push forward. There's not as much light on it, but I think we still have momentum. I think people's eyes and ears were open during that moment, and I think they still are, but we have to continue to push.
You made a pretty pointed application for Jaylen in the NBA after last game. How important is that? You guys kind of talked about kind of making a push to get him in there and kind of getting support for that.
Yeah, it's important. It's important. It's important for, I think, anybody that works like he does or like I do or like my teammates do and that perform and at the level he performs at to get recognition. I think that's one of the biggest things. It's not about the award. It's not about the name and the attention, but it's about recognition, especially at this level. So that's definitely important.
And, you guys talking CBA. One of the things with all NBA is Supermax of that and kind of being in the media's hands. I don't know how much you guys have talked about that and how you guys feel as players about that, like contracts being in the hands of media's vote, coaches' vote, whatever it might be.
Definitely something that's been discussed. I can't go into too much detail on it, but definitely something that's been discussed.
Last thing about the White House, what about just the experience of being there? It looked like you guys were able to tour around a little bit. What was it like just kind of spending time
honestly,
around?
amazing. We got to see the Oval Office. We got to just see a lot of history in there. Not a lot has changed other than maybe a few paintings on the wall and a few decorations around the Oval Office and around the White House that each president sort of comes in with. But not a lot has changed, which is awesome. So it's a good experience.
How many people pitch you to run for office after you retire?
I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, does being in your leadership position with the PA kind of help you understand what it's like to be a politician and have to weigh all these different needs?
It does. A lot of constituents, stakeholders, if you may, a lot of opinions, a lot of voices, a lot of egos that you have to manage and that you have to speak on behalf of, and you have to speak to and I think just try to come to terms with. So there's a lot to manage in these positions when you're a voice of more than just yourself, but when you sign up for it, you got to meet it head on. So I think that's what me, JB, and Grant have been able to do.